Hello, crew. I'm back. How is everybody? I've missed you. Is it weird not seeing me live for those of you that are regularly here? Was it a bit weird, or you didn't miss me at all? It's good to be back, guys. I'm going to share with you a little bit of my last couple of days. And yeah, it's a bit weird because I had a training topic for you today, which I'll deliver to you guys tomorrow. But there's a couple of things that are really, really bugging me regarding my time away. So I just wanted to get your perspective on it. It's like I'm just going to have a chat to you today, guys. Is that okay? For those of you that don't know, I've just been away with my husband, just the two of us. The kids went elsewhere, shipped them off for a couple of days. And we went away for his birthday. So it was his birthday, not a special birthday or anything, but because I've been working so much, for a long time, not just lately, I just wanted to do something nice for him and get away. And I said to you guys, and you guys were amazing. There are other people that were not so amazing, but I'll get to that. But you guys were amazing. Like, go and enjoy yourself. You deserve it. Have a great time. All the rest of it. You guys have been awesome about that. And if you didn't see the photos, did you see the photos, guys, of where we went? Beautiful, beautiful place. So a cottage out sort of, if you live anywhere near me, for those of you that do, sort of, I'll just say Adelaide Hills area. Beautiful greenery, paddocks around, cottage, fireplace, beautiful, beautiful decor, like just smashing place, just beautiful. So we relaxed for a couple of days and it was awesome. Like, it really was awesome just to sleep in for one. We watched movies, stuff that we never do, things like that. But I did put a post up yesterday alluding to the fact that I have a love-hate relationship with technology and, well, my mobile phone, let's put it that way. And there are a couple of things that happened while we were away regarding my mobile, which I'll tell you about in a second. And I want to put this, just want to get your perspective on something. So I'm just sharing my lessons, sharing my thoughts, and getting your perspective on something, if that's okay. And then we get home and my son brings up something to do with mobile phones again. And it's like, okay, these issues regarding technology are really in my face. So I want your perspective on that as well. So are you okay if we just have a little bit of a chat today? Now, I just want to say hello to some of you because I haven't been here for a couple of days. So we've got Lynn, lovely to see you here. Gloria, I had to watch traffic views today just to see your smiling face. Yes, I was on a webinar very early this morning at my time. So it's funny. Kirsten, always need a bit of Helen Martin in your life. Oh, that's so sweet. Thank you. Hey, Crystal, how are you? We've got Patricia here as well. I missed you these last couple of days, but I'm so glad you had some time away with your hubby. So it will, and I'll get to this in a minute. It was mostly awesome, but because of my mobile phone, there were times where, one, I was in tears, and two, I didn't sleep for a whole night because of something. So I'll share that in a minute. So it was nice to get away, but it could have been better. Let me put it that way. Nothing to do with Paul, just to do with this online world stuff. Hey, Michael, how are you? Good to see you here. Hello, Cindy. Lovely to see you. Hey, Lynn. Hello, Susan. We've got Janet here as well. Very missed. Oh, that's lovely. Thank you, Lynn. It was weird. I always miss you. Thank you, Crystal. Hey, Helen, missed you. Great to see you back. Thank you. It's good to be back. Hello, Beth. Lovely to see you here. Thank you, Cynthia. Cindy's got all the emojis going on. She's a life member and one of our VIPs. Olive is a life member. Hello, Edith. How are you? The pictures were beautiful. Yeah, if you guys didn't see them, they wouldn't be that far down my news feed. I put up a few pictures of the cottage. It was just decked out so beautifully. They've done an amazing job. I did see the photos. They were gorgeous. I'd love to see it in person. Oops, where did everyone go? Hello, Tina. How are you? Great to see you. Glad you had a getaway. Thank you. Anybody that appears like that, it just means I know you're watching from my group, and you just need to click the StreamYard link at the bottom of the description of the video. It's streamyard.com/Facebook. Then I'll be able to see who you are. Hello, Monica. We missed you. Hope you had a good time. Let's do it. Woohoo, let's have a chat. So you're okay to have a chat today, guys? Hi, Charlene. Hey, Tina. Awesome to have a chat. Would love to hear about your trip and whatever is in your mind. Thank you. Love it when you just share what's on your mind. Judy, how are you, Judy? I was thinking about you early this morning, and I thought, no, I can't message Bob now, like it's too early. How are you? I hope Judy doesn't mind me saying, but she's in hospital at the moment. She's just recovering from surgery. So I want to know how she is. Hello, Megan. Welcome back. Glad you got to relax and reconnect. That we did. Good to hear you had an amazing time. Happy for you to share. Hey, Sandy, how are you? Everyone on the road trip north myself. And for all those who know, I am the father of 800 baby turkeys. Woohoo! Let's just say Rick's diversifying his income, and he's got a new interest, which is pretty cool. Howdy doody, Ray. Definitely felt lost at your normal time going live. Oh, that's so lovely. I love the fact that you're a bit lost, Susan. It just shows how awesome you guys. The pictures are amazing. The cottage was beautiful. Good to have you back. Thank you, Aldith. I shared something different for my personal story for the video challenge because I've shared so much. Oh, I have to go and check that out. Hello, Shauna. Lovely to see you on. Are you good? Thank you. So glad to hear that, Judy. So I just want to share with you guys my love-hate relationship with technology. So obviously we've gone away for a couple of days, and for the most part, I was not on my phone. You know, seriously, the few times it was really interesting, you know, to see the shift and the impact that technology and the convenience of something like a mobile has with people, and the expectation that people have, you know, of people. So I deliberately did not pick up my phone very much. But when you do something like I do, and everything that I do is online, like you guys can relate to this, you know, from being here 5 days a week, the students that I mentor in line, my own coaching community, all my groups, you know, things like that, you sort of feel compelled to always be there and always show up. So you go away for a couple of days to relax, reconnect with your cubby, but it's a huge thing not to actually pick up your phone for 2 full days. Would you agree? Like, what I want to know from you guys is, like, how would you manage, because I've got to do this better next time, because I'll tell you what happened. There was a time that I promised Paul no work. Just before we leave, something pops up on my phone that needs to be dealt with kind of immediately. So the first thing I've said, so I was planning to drive to not give him an indication of where we were going. It was a surprise. He knew we were going away. He didn't know where we were going. So I was going to drive just to keep the curiosity sort of going. So because this thing popped up on my phone that supposedly needed to be attended to immediately, I had to say to Paul, I'm sorry, honey, I need to send out a whole lot of information here. Can you please drive? So there's downer number 1. It's like I wanted to drive to know, and so I had to tell him sort of where we were going. And I'm busy in the phone, so we're not talking. I'm busy working away because of this expectation that something needs to be dealt with sort of like straight away. So I'm dealing with that in the car the whole time we get there. So we get there, unpack, don't touch the phone for a while. That's all good. Everything's great until the next day. So something blows up again on the phone. I check it and I'm like, oh, what? How have I been caught up in this? And blah, blah, blah. Try to deal with it. And there's conversations going back and forth. And my stress levels went through the roof to the point where it really changed my mood. And at one point, I had tears rolling down my cheek because I'm like, I can't believe I'm dealing with this now. I wanted 2 days alone with my husband, and I have to deal with this now. I mean, he was amazing, and I'm like, sorry, honey. It's like, you know, it's okay, whatever. But the second night we were there, I did not sleep a wink. I watched the clock from midnight. We went to bed about midnight, and I watched the clock until about 4:30. And then Paul started snoring, which he never does. He's not a snorer, thankfully. But he was snoring. And so it was just that whole second night was history for me. And it was just a real shame. But it all resulted on picking up this damn thing. So what do you do with that? When you're in the online world, like, I'm a big believer that we need to detox a little bit, but how much? Would it have been unreasonable for me to, I mean, I'm not worried about you guys. You guys are awesome. And you guys were great with all your comments. Go and have your time off. Like, you deserve it. You work hard, whatever. Like, you guys were fabulous. But there are other things that I do that the expectation was different. And, you know, it was such a shame. But it wasn't only me. It was Paul as well. Paul has his own business. He had clients that were ringing. He would leave the messages for a little bit, but then listen to his messages, and then would have messages about people wanting something. And both our moods changed kind of instantly when we went to our phones. And it was really apparent to both of us how these little things control so much of us. Like, what we would have been better off doing is just blanket everywhere. I mean, you guys knew I was going away, and I told you that, and perhaps I should have done a bit better job with that, with, you know, other communities that I'm involved with and other businesses that I'm involved in and stuff like that, and just said, I'm out of action for 2 days. I'm not touching my phone. But then in this environment, like, you guys know what this is like in the online world. How hard is it not to pick up a mobile phone for 2 whole days? Could you do that? Some of you probably could, but when you're involved as many things as I do, is it realistic to put out messages everywhere and go, I'm away for 2 days? So I think it should be able to, because what if I went somewhere with no internet connection? Then you wouldn't be able to contact me. And Paul and I would have been better off if we'd done that. So my question to you is, guys, what is realistic from somebody who everything they do is in the online world, but we all need a break? Do you guys take a detox on the weekend? Do you not touch your phones on a Saturday or a Sunday? Or are you glued to your phones? Because it's interesting, the perception and other people's wants and needs, how that affects us personally when we absorb everybody else's stuff, when we touch these things. Do you get where I'm coming from? Because this is a real issue in husbands and wives. Paul is not involved in the online world at all. So gets it, but doesn't get it. So, you know, that was the part of the reason of going away. But I'm just trying to work out for myself, like, you guys are in this industry probably here that are watching me. What would have you done? Because we would have had a much nicer time if we had not touched our phones for 2 days. Yet we're in the industry where we need to connect with people. So what's the solution? I want to know what your solution is, because it really destroyed probably about half my trip by picking up my phone. The other thing I want to get your opinion on is, we came home last night, you know, kids were back, and Zach, our eldest, who's 13, was sitting on the kitchen bench, and he looked at me quite sad, and he was like, Mum, can I get and it was a type of mobile phone. Didn't recognize the name of it, just a different type than what I have. And I said, well, we've talked about this, you know, not right now. And he literally started tearing up. Like, it wasn't I want it, this is so unfair, you're horrible parents. It was like literally tearing up. And I'm like, what's wrong? What's brought this on? And where we are in Australia at the moment, our boys get an extra week's school holidays than the rest, because our school is back. So they get 3 weeks holidays at the moment. So they're already on a week's holidays. Everyone else will be on holidays as of today. So what he's experienced in the last couple of days, because he was staying with a friend, is that all his other friends have connected on their phones, and they've caught up and done things. Now, he was with a mate, so he really can't complain, but he went to soccer practice last night, and all his friends have been communicating on their phones, and no one communicated with him because he doesn't have a phone. So his point was, I'm being left out, and he was crying about it. So then you get the parent guilt. Oh, I don't want my kid to miss out. Does he need a phone when I'm trying to fight? Exactly. You know what happens when we have mobile phones as adults? I don't want my 13-year-old boy to have a phone all the time on him. But I don't want him to feel like he's missing out on friendships and catching up with, friends in school holidays, because he's the only one without a phone. He's seriously the only one in his class without a phone. So what do? Parents, guys, what do you recommend? Do we disadvantage our child by having this stance of I don't want you to have a phone? And my angle of this is because he said his friend said, oh, it's just a matter of trust. And I said, sweetie, I don't not trust you. Our eldest, he's a great kid. I don't have any issues with thinking he'll abuse it or look at things he shouldn't look like. He's a really good kid. And I said, Zach, mate, it's not that I don't trust you. I just know what your life is going to turn into once you have a mobile phone. I said, you're glued to your computer now. You're going to be glued to your phone. Even if we set restrictions, no phones in the bedroom at night and stuff like that. Like, what do? Knowing what the impact of social media and phones and technology does to us as adults, going through the last 2 days of some of that period of time where it just should have been an amazing time with Paul, and it was for the most part, guys. We did have a lovely time away, but some of it was destroyed because of the convenience of mobile phones. People don't know how to be patient anymore. People's expectations are just like that. People send a message, they expect a response, they expect an answer, then you get another message because you haven't responded. And it's like, man, this world of technology is amazing, but it's also very, very frustrating. And I'm happy to sort of give Zach a phone with maybe limits, but I don't want him to turn into one of these people that's glued to their phone. So what would you do, guys? What would you, if your child came to you and was so sad, saying, my friends aren't communicating with me because I'm the only one without a phone? Would you? Oh man, if that truck, I'll be squirrel moment, guys. Delivery truck has just left. I didn't see him pull up. He's been here 3 times in the last 3 days trying to deliver something, and we haven't been here. So I'm hoping that they won't leave it at the door without a signature. I've just missed it again. Anyway, so what do you do? I'm looking for help here, guys. I never do this. I never talk about my personal stuff really and ask you guys' opinion. But if your 13-year-old came to you and is really upset because he feels like he's missing out with his friends because no one's talking to him because he's the only one without a phone, would you allow him a phone with some restrictions? Would you not allow it because that's the stance that you take? Or would you give in? Like, I just love some help here, because at the moment I'm really disappointed with technology. And part of the last couple of days is me absorbing, some of the messages that I got, the expectation, why haven't you responded? All that kind of stuff. It's like, are you for real? That kind of expectation. But I've absorbed that. The fact that I haven't been able to sleep is me thinking too much about it. So that there's a lesson in that for me. You guys are probably all at some stage overthink things. Would you agree? There's some things that your head, for me, when my head hits the pillow, that's when I think too much. And I've done that the last couple of nights. Even being home last night, I still did it again. And then I was up at 5 o'clock to do a webinar this morning. But I just love your opinion, guys, because I would love to be able to go away and have a blissful time and deal with the crap when I get back, than have, a bit of my time away with hubby, which, mind you, cost a fortune. That's not the be all and end all, but if you're going to go to the time and energy of clearing your calendar for a couple of days to make something happen, don't you want to have the best possible time that you can have? But technology, it's amazing, but it frustrates the crap out of me at the same time. What do you guys think? Let's see what you guys think. It's so hard to disconnect Yeah, like how many of you are glued to your phones? It's, you know, and it just gets me. It is huge to leave your phone for 2 days, especially when you have so many people expecting your attention. That's the hard part. And we didn't look at our phones a lot. And normally, I guess, issues don't come up. It's just that this time it did. Hey, Glenn, how are you? Just leave it till you get back. So that, you know, part of me is thinking, you know, well, yeah, the issue that came up had to be dealt with. Yeah, I won't go into the story. It's such a blessing that Paul is so supportive of you. So many people in our industry are not supportive of their spouse or the significant other, bless his heart. And one of the reasons why I was taking him away, Crystal, is he is so supportive of me and puts up with me working all the time. So it was really important that we had that special time together, and we did. We did. It just could have been better. You almost need to really leave your phone at home. I know, but how weird would that be? Could you guys go away for 2 days and actually leave your phone at home? Yes, it is realistic. You should be able to take time off guilt-free. That's why I love the online world, but I hate the online world. Easy peasy. I will schedule screen time if needed, but when I go away, I have no internet. I think that's the solution. We used to not have any internet out at the farm, so that was just easy. Whenever we went out the farm, sorry, no internet, can't get a hold of me, but now there is internet out there, so I can't even escape from that. Absolutely, you're entitled to some downtime. It's very difficult to not pick up my phone even for 1 day, mainly just because of the fact that I have to be available for my mum. My mum and kids come first. And this is the thing, like I wish we could rewind the clock and go back to that time where, you know, we weren't contactable all the time, because this is what we get caught with. We've got sick parents or elderly parents, or your kids need to contact you. Like, we are now in a world where we think we need it. You know, because of these things. It's just the expectation. If you were far away on a plane, you couldn't answer. The only reason you would be able to completely disconnect with the kids being with you. It's a good point. I have been on 15-hour, 17-hour planes before and no one could contact me. Sandy, is that the nature of online? Since it pays our way, should we answer? Not sure. I definitely don't touch anything on Sundays. That's our day to unplug. So how many of you do that? How many of you have a day on the weekends where you don't touch your phone? I'd be really intrigued to know that. I find that really difficult with everything online that I do. I find that really difficult to not touch it for a day. But I'm thinking we all need to. You know, it's not life being glued to a mobile phone. It's not living. It's not quality relationships. It's not quality conversations. You know, with people in human, like your husband and your kids and stuff like that. I love technology, but there are dangers, particularly for kids, which is why I'm being protective of Zach. So let's see what comments you've got there. It's not unreasonable to take 2 full days off and get away from the world completely. Okay, I'll remember that. I can leave my phone. The problem is I feel like I'm falling behind. That's the other thing. Susan, the longer you leave things and don't attend to them, you feel like you're always chasing your tail. So that's a catch as well. Ray's always on the phone. Solution is to tell the world that you are not available. That's what I think I'll do last time. I did it well with some of you, but not all people. Would be tough, I think. Yeah. We are going through something as a family which has made us step back a bit from our phones. Our children are watching everything we do and learning what is normal. Yeah, I mean, have a think of the kids watching me. I'm online all the time. I'm on my computer. I'm glued to my phone. I'm at the end of the kitchen bench on my phone. I'm on my phone on weekends. Like, it just never stops. Our kids are watching that. So, yeah. Is your team too dependent on you? No, my network marketing team is really good. But I do a lot of different things. I've got lots of different income streams. So, yeah, my network marketing team's really good. I detox every weekend, but honestly, I just started to do that because I realized I was spending too much time and my husband wasn't seeing me as much and a decision had to be made. Yeah. Alan's much better than me. I am worried that family or someone needs to get hold of me, but he always says if it's important, they will get hold of us. We went for a drive yesterday to see all the flooding. We are safe, good to hear, but I purposely left my phone at home. It was only an hour, but I realised it was the first thing I do when I get home. It's a really interesting life we lead now with mobile phones. Really interesting life. Not necessarily a good thing, I don't think. Peer pressure is hard, yeah. However, for me, I'm the type of person who would not answer calls, texts, or messages unless it was a family emergency. If people could not respect my time away, my break, and my personal space, it says a lot about them. Yes, I totally could and have. My emotional well-being is more important than anything else, and it has taken my emotional mastery training to get to this point. And I think that's, part of the realization here as well, Shauna, is we as human beings and our husbands and our loved ones and our kids should be more important than anything. Those 2 days with Paul should have been, and they were, it sounds like we had an awful time. We really didn't. But, next time I'd be putting that expectation, like phones don't come out unless, how do you check and then not get drawn in? So in case the kids need to contact you or something, like we're in this world where you can't let go. Like if you're away for your kids for 2 days, you couldn't be completely with a phone off in case something happened to the kids and someone needed to contact you, all of that. Sandy, didn't give my boys phones until later in high school. They pleaded. Well, Colby's parents got him one, mum. Too bad, son. Not happening. Kudos to you for sticking with it. My kids were at least 15. Wish I had been longer without it. Yes, it's ridiculous. I have an 11-year-old and it's a tough battle. Instant gratification. It's a tough choice. We went through this as well. Our daughter was the only one, so we have given her a phone. It's changed things and also opened up a world we didn't think it would open. Happy to chat privately about that. Okay, thanks, Megan. I really appreciate it. That's the other thing. We could give it a trial run. It's a tough one. There's really no great answer, Helen, just to have to listen to your own heart. I'll go back to these comments, guys. Just to add to this week. I've actually got to head off to a funeral this afternoon, so I will get back to these comments. I would allow screen time in my presence, but to have one whose supervision, no thanks. Gradually allow screen time. Phone ownership is the worst addiction that causes family conversations to break down. This is what I'm trying to avoid. I don't want my 13-year-old I don't think kids are growing up learning how to communicate. Kids are going to break up they do it now. They break up via text message or a Snapchat or a message in Messenger. Like kids are not learning how to communicate. Point in case, all his friends, Zach's friends, are all communicating via technology and no one's picking up a phone or ringing. Yeah, it's just, I don't know. It's just an interesting conversation that I think we all need to be aware of for self-preservation. At the end of the day, there should be nothing more important than your loved ones, protecting your loved ones, husbands, wives, in this online world. The online world is amazing. You guys know that. Look at the connections that we have in this online crew community here. Like, I love so many of you connecting with you, and I feel like I know you and you know me, but we've never met in person. And the online world has given us that opportunity. The online world enables me to grow my business as it does you, when you know how to do it properly. Like, the online world is amazing. But I still think we need to have restrictions on ourselves, for our own self-preservation, as well as our children and our children's children. Do you agree? Because it takes over. It takes over emotions. It takes over communication. It takes over just so many things that there has to be boundaries. And I'm going to try a lot harder. In saying this, we're going away not next week, the week after, as a family. But I know that time I'm still going to go live with you guys at my normal time. Like, you guys are coming on our family holiday with us. There will be things that I will be doing, and the family know that. It's not like a week away, just, no communication. But the last couple of days with Paul, that's what it was meant to be. So I'm just openly sharing with you guys. I love the opportunity of the online world, but it's also a real catch for your sanity. downtime. Don't let technology rule you. I think we should all be able to set boundaries. Just maybe what I should have done is been a lot more vocal to a lot of different people in all the different things I do, saying, I'm not answering your messages for 48 hours. And then maybe I could have escaped, some of the things that I experienced. But it's just an interesting discussion, don't you think, guys? How wonderful technology is, but how socially inept it makes people sometimes. Does that make sense? People hide behind technology. People don't have real conversations. Pick up phones, have real conversations. It's a beautiful thing, but it's a crappy thing all at once. So I think I've had my say. This is not normally something I do, but I just wanted to get your perspective, and I will go back to your comments. I just want to get your perspective around this, because I think any of us building a business online, we've got to have boundaries. We've got to have limitations. We've got to remember who's most important to us. Our loved ones, husbands, children, things like that, and have that real quality time with them without having to be glued by a mobile phone or thinking that our left leg is cut off because our phone's not near us, and certainly not bringing a generation up of children that it's sad that Zach is upset because he doesn't have a mobile phone. It's just sad. Kids should play like they used to. Anyway. Thank you in advance for all your feedback and all your comments. I really appreciate you chiming into this sort of discussion here. I'll get off my soapbox now. I'll come back on here live tomorrow and share with you what I was going to share with you today. But just thanks for letting me share my thoughts and have a chat. And I don't think I'll resolve the issues of technology from this live, but I think it's important just to raise the level of awareness of how damaging technology can be as well as amazing. And I think it's something we all need to be aware of for our own mental frame of mind, detoxing from technology, learning to appreciate downtime for ourselves, because not enough people do that. We very rarely, well, I do, just rarely sit and read a book or just enjoy a moment or something. Life is a lot like this. So there's a lot to say for learning to get out of that chaos, sitting within yourself, peace of mind, all those kind of good things that ground us and make us happier human beings, I think. Anyway, thank you for listening. I will see you guys same time tomorrow for more of my normal type training. Okay, it's good to be back, guys. Thanks for being here. I'll talk to you tomorrow. Bye.